Thank you, madam. What's up, you guys? I am Cassidy. This is my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be breaking down the best sewing machine feet for everyone. They are functional, they do things, and they're great. So a lot of the times nowadays when you buy a new sewing machine, it'll come with like 8 to 10 presser feet that are more or less useless. So I'm not going to be talking about those in this video. I'm going to be talking about sewing machine feet that actually help you do something that you need to do, i.e. inserting a zipper or making a buttonhole. That was kind of like a giveaway, but teaser, there may be an automatic buttonhole foot in this video. But I'm going to focus on the presser feet that will actually serve a purpose for you rather than just doing one thing, like a cording foot is just for doing cording, or like a gathering foot is just for gathering. Without further ado, let's get into it. We are going to talk about shank height first. So before you get, presser foot happy and go buy one, make sure that you know the height of the shank on your machine or it's not gonna fit. If you like this type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I asked for it, I said it. So let's get into it. Presser feet. This is freaking fascinating stuff, all right? This is really exciting. I'm very excited to make this video. The distance between here, this little divot where it goes on the needle bar, and here where it holds the presser foot is going to determine the shank height. You can see that the distance is much less here on this low shank. And these are snap-on, so you can just snap the presser foot right on, and then to release, you just press the button on the back. Here we have a super high shank. This is from my new home Memory Craft 8000, and it is different than a high shank. It is a super high shank. So know the shank height of your machine. So this is a low shank. This is very common on modern machines, and most like Brother machines, Janome, Singer, things like that. If they're made, in the past 10, 15, 20 years, they're probably going to have a low shank. If you do get a machine that has a low shank, you're going to have a wide variety of options that you can purchase for relatively cheap, just because it is a very common shank height. First up, we have the adjustable zipper foot, not to be mistaken with the invisible zipper foot. So this is where you connect it to your machine on the needle bar, and then there is a dial in the back that you can loosen, and actually, if it'll do it for me. So you're gonna loosen it, and once the screw is loosened, you are able to move this very freely, and that makes it very convenient for sewing zippers. So the adjustable zipper foot, you can put it on either side of your needle, and then that is what the actual part that goes on the bed of the machine looks like. So your needle's gonna go on this side or on this side, and you are just able to move the actual presser foot. It's not liking me, of course, right now, but come on. You can move it like this. Next up, we have the invisible zipper foot. Now, I am somebody who, I don't like invisible zippers. I'll just say that right now, unless they are in a lined garment. But this guy is really handy, especially if you're starting out sewing, because it basically sews your invisible zipper for you. You can see this groove here on the bottom of the presser foot. The teeth of the invisible zipper actually fit right in there. So it's really great. I will do a separate video demonstrating how to use this foot, but in conjunction with the adjustable zipper foot, you would have pretty much anything you'd need to sew a zipper. The next, okay, I have a couple of these. So I love an edge stitch foot. An edge stitch foot, you align this little guide with the edge of your fabric. So on this machine, or on this pressure foot, it's different. I'm actually not sure what these grooves are for. If anyone knows what these are for, please leave me a comment because I have no idea what those are for. But anyway, this little guard right here, this guy, will align with the edge of your fabric and it will keep your stitching perfect. This is really great for top stitching, and yeah, I love an edge stitch foot. Alright, so kind of an essential one. I personally prefer to sew my buttons on by hand, or I'm sorry, I prefer to sew my buttonholes by hand. I also prefer sewing the buttons on by hand, but if you're beginning and starting out, this is an automatic buttonhole foot, or a one-step buttonhole foot. What you do is you can put the button back here, and you'll put it onto your machine, and based on the size of the button, the machine will know how long to make the buttonhole stitch. So it just snaps onto the shank like this, and then the longer part goes in the back. So that would be where the button goes, and then your machine will be sewing in this little space. So really good for beginners. Sewing buttonholes is a whole thing on your sewing machine, but this might make it a little easier. All right, last but not least, can I get a drum roll here? Can I please get a drum roll, because this is the best presser foot that exists. All right, here she is. It's the walking foot. This is the #1 best presser foot I would recommend that you buy. It is awesome. This is my favorite presser foot because it has feed dogs on the top. Why is that important? Well, if you think about it, your sewing machine has feed dogs on the bottom. It does not have anything that's feeding the fabric. On your sewing machine, you have feed dogs on the bottom. You do not have feed dogs on the top. Therefore, the top layer of fabric is being moved. How do I explain this? This one is a low shank, and I actually love this. I need it. I love walking feet so much that I have a sewing machine that is just dedicated to having this walking foot on it, because my main sewing machine has a super high shank. Therefore, the lights just started flickering, I'm sorry. Therefore, finding a walking foot that will fit it is very expensive. So I just keep this one on my little basic Brother mechanical machine. And why a walking foot is special, if you see right here, these grooves, these are feed dogs essentially. So the walking foot allows you to feed both layers of fabric evenly, because you have feed dogs on the bottom of your machine, and the walking foot is feeding that top layer with its feed dogs. It's also called an even feed foot, but this is essential for sewing knits. It's great for really heavy things. It's going to push both of those layers of fabric through evenly. And you know, it's great really for anything. Like, you can use a walking foot for wovens. Don't just think that it's for knits or heavy things, but this is essential. You got to get one of these. They will not come standard with your machine like many of these other feet will, but you can hop on Amazon and just buy a generic one. I've had this one for years, and I think it was like $9. So yeah, they're great. Walking foot, #1 best sewing foot ever.